Okay, so what if I told you that you could turn a simple, everyday walk into a powerful biological command to literally boost your hormones? Well, today we're diving into a really fascinating protocol that claims to do exactly that. And listen, this isn't just about getting your steps in. Not at all. It's about making every single one of those steps count in a very, very specific way.
And here it is. This is the core promise that really caught my eye. The source material points to a 2021 study that found this incredibly precise connection. For every 1,000 steps a man takes, his testosterone can climb by exactly 7 nanograms per deciliter. Now that is a bold, specific claim. So let's unpack what it actually takes to make that happen.
So first things first, what problem are we even trying to solve here? Well, it's a state that so many of us fall into without even knowing it. A state the source material calls hormonal hibernation.
Now here's a wild way to think about it. When you sit at a desk for, say, 8 hours straight, your body doesn't just get a little lazy. It actually interprets that prolonged stillness as a sign of crisis, a biological emergency. It thinks, uh-oh, something's wrong, we need to conserve resources for survival. So what does it do? It hits the emergency brake on anything it deems non-essential. And that includes your reproductive health. This isn't just a small dip, it's an active, deliberate suppression.
You can really boil it down to two completely different paths for your body. A sedentary day can literally put you into survival mode, where testosterone production gets shut down. But a day with purposeful movement sends the signal that everything is okay. It's safe to switch back into what you could call reproductive mode, and that allows those hormone levels to recover. The difference between these two states is it's night and day.
So, how do we pull that lever and snap our bodies out of survival mode? Well, the answer, according to the research, is surprisingly specific. It really all comes down to the numbers.
Let's just focus on this number for a second. A 7 nanogram per deciliter gain for every single 1,000 steps you take. This is what's so cool about it. It transforms walking from this vague, oh yeah, it's healthy for you, activity into a precise, measurable tool for managing your hormones.
And just look at how this can stack up. If you start from a pretty sedentary baseline and really apply this rule, hitting something like 10,000 steps a day, we're not just talking about a little bump. You're looking at a potential 42-point increase. That's a major, major hormonal shift, all from consistent, purposeful walking.
Okay, but here's the kicker. This is probably the most important detail in this entire breakdown, and it's where most people go wrong. All steps are not created equal, not even close. The source makes this critical distinction between what it calls strolling and patrolling. And trust me, the how you walk is everything.
So what's strolling? You know what this is. This is most of us, right? We're wandering through a park or maybe the grocery store, kind of aimlessly scrolling on our phone. There's no real purpose, no intensity, and from a hormonal standpoint, it's basically wasted time. It doesn't send any of the right signals to your body, so you get absolutely zero benefit in this department.
Now let's contrast that with patrolling. I absolutely love this analogy. Just picture yourself walking through a massive airport. You're not sprinting, you're not running to the gate, but you're definitely not browsing the duty-free shops either. You are moving with pace, with intention, because you're just a little bit late for your flight. That's the feeling. That's the vibe you're aiming for. It's movement with a mission.
So how do you know if you're patrolling correctly? There's a super simple way to check called the talk test. It's brilliant. If you can sing a song or have a long, easy-breezy conversation, you're going too slow. That's a stroll. You need to be at an intensity where you can speak in full sentences if you have to, but you're a little winded. And honestly, you'd really rather not. That is the sweet spot. That's your 75% intensity.
Okay, so we've got the what and we've got the how. But why? Why does walking with this specific kind of purpose and intensity actually work so well? Let's get into the biology a little bit.
The source material uses this great concept called cortisol steel. Think of it like this. Your body has a limited budget of raw materials to make hormones. When you're stressed out all the time, your body steals those building blocks to crank out the stress hormone, cortisol. But when you engage in patrolling, you flip the switch. You lower the demand for cortisol, which frees up those exact same raw materials to be used for testosterone production instead. You're basically reallocating your resources.
And one of the key reasons this happens is a state called optic flow. It sounds complicated, but it's not. As you're walking purposefully and the world is streaming past your peripheral vision, that rhythmic forward motion sends a powerful safety signal to your brain's fear center, the amygdala. It basically tells your ancient primal brain, hey, we're moving forward, we're not trapped, we're not under attack, you can calm down. And that drop in perceived threat is what lowers your cortisol.
And on top of all that, you trigger what biologists call the winner effect. By patrolling, you are, in a way, mimicking the behavior of an animal that's confidently surveying its territory. This action releases a little hit of dopamine, which feels good and creates this positive feedback loop. Your brain essentially goes, hey, this feels good, this is dominant behavior, and that very signal tells the body to produce even more testosterone to support it. It's amazing.
All right, so we've covered the problem, the super specific solution, and the science that makes it all work. Let's wrap this up by putting all this theory into a simple, actionable plan that you can literally start using today.
So here's how you execute this. First, don't get hung up on that big 10,000 step number. Just start with a manageable goal, something like 6,000. Second, break it down. You don't have to do it all at once. Think in terms of little 10 or 15-minute doses of patrolling scattered throughout your day. And finally, this is a huge tip. Try to do these walks right after you eat. When you do that, you use your massive leg muscles like a giant sponge to just soak up all the blood sugar from your meal. This helps keep your insulin low, which is yet another green light for your body to produce testosterone.
At the end of the day, the message here is incredibly clear. Our bodies were not designed for hibernation. They were designed for purposeful movement. And when we stop moving, key systems just start to power down. This protocol is really just a simple way to send a signal to your body that it's time to turn the lights back on. So the only real question left is, are you ready to start walking?